we can see that Bhajagovindam, as a composition by Bhagavan Bhashyagaran Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada, that emphasize on three aspects. The first is the bhakti, the devotion. Bhakti, jnana, vairagyam, tadvara, moksha. Bhakti is all about devotion. The surrender to that Lord, surrender to the universal self. Jnana is all about spiritual knowledge. What is that knowledge? That knowledge is all about the higher truth. When we say higher truth, the universal consciousness and the connection, you as a jiva, you as an individual, what is that connection with that universal consciousness? The nature of para prakriti and the apara prakriti. And the spiritual knowledge is all about bringing the clarity in one about the true self. And that true self is not different from the universal self. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Vadandidat tattvavidaha yat tattvam jnanam advayam brahmedi paramatmedi Bhagavan idi shabdyate. So you are not different. You are not different, and that truth is called by different names. So here knowledge is all about, jnanam is all about having the knowledge of the higher self and yourself, and through the different practices, through the maturity, one will understand that I am not different from that universal self, the universal consciousness. Bhakti is all about surrender and dedication. Jnanam is all about knowing the truth. And Vairagyam is a part of this journey. When we say Vairagyam, it is not something like running away or getting rid of things in life. Vairagyam is all about having dispassion in life through the discriminative intelligence. When we say dispassion in life, decoupling from the impermanent things in this world and coupling with the permanent. This is all about Vairagya, dispassion. And this dispassion is through discriminative intelligence. This is through the right knowledge. So when we have Bhakti, Jnanam and Vairagyam, these three will enable us to attain the liberation, to attain the moksha, to attain the inner freedom, to attain the Nijasthiti. So here, when we say the Jnanam, as I mentioned before, the individual self, the individual Atma, we call soul, and the universal self, so called as the Brahman, both are one and the same. And that Brahman is the ultimate, is the unchanging reality. It is the pure consciousness. And that Brahman is the source of everything in this universe. And that Brahman is beyond the forms and attributes. And that Brahman is infinite. That Brahman is eternal. That Brahman is indivisible. The Taittiriya Upanishad Mandram says that Yado vajo nivartande aprapriya manasa saha Anandam Brahmano Vidwan. Right? Yado vajo nivartande aprapriya manasa saha. So this cannot be comprehended, this cannot be expressed with the mere words, mere comprehensive capability or capacity of our mind. Inexpressibility of this reality. That's where we mentioned this in today's dhana. The mind can become the friend or an enemy. Uddhared atman atmanam, na atmanam avasade. So with the mere capability of the mind, this reality cannot be known. The inexpressibility of this reality. That's what the Taittiriya Mantram says. It is beyond the comprehension of the mind, beyond the verbal or beyond the mere words, beyond the verbal description or the mental comprehension that one can have. So the language or the mind cannot clearly define, because this is not something that can be defined, because it is beyond the attributes, beyond the forms, and this truth is infinite, this truth is eternal, this truth cannot be divided, this truth is not having any birth or death. And the one who knows the Brahman, who knows the true self as this universal self, transcends all the fears and dualities. So if there is nothing to be feared, nothing to be afraid of, and no limitations in life, so that is where one gets liberation in life, liberation in this janma. This is the state of Jivan Mukti. Again, Taittiriya Upanishad says, Om Brahmavid apnodi param tadesha bhukta satyam jnanam anandam brahma yo veda nihidam guhayam parame vyoman so ashnute sarvan kaman saha brahmana vipaschideti. The knower of Brahman attains that Supreme. And what is Brahman? Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma. Brahman is the existence, knowledge, infinity. So the one who knows the Brahman, where is the Brahman? Yo Veda Nihidam Guhaya, hidden in the core of the heart. Hridaya Guharam. So the one who knows the Brahman in the deepest core of the heart attains that Brahman. Brahmavid Brahmeva Bhavati. Yo Veda Nihidam Guhayam Am Brahmavid Apnodi Param Tadeshabhukta Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma. So where is that truth? That truth is you. And that truth is hidden in the core of the heart. It means what? You yourself, as the existence, consciousness, bliss principle. You are that. Satyam Jnanam Anandam. You are the existence, knowledge, infinity. You are the existence, consciousness, bliss. And that is the ultimate reality which is within all of us. In fact, we are that reality. And that reality is eternal, that reality is consciousness, that reality is boundless. So, spirituality is all about the journey of self-enquiry. In the last session, we saw the sloga from Bhajagovindam, the 9th verse, Satsangate Nisangatvam Nisangatve Nirmohatvam Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam Nischalatatve Jivanti. Through the company of good, when we say the company of good, through the Satsangam, one develops one develops detachment, one develops Nisangatvam. And through the Nisangatvam, through the detachment, one becomes free from delusion. meaning one will have nischala tattvam, nirmohatvam to nischala tattvam. And what is that? Nischala tattva jivan mukti, meaning steadfastness, right? Steadfastness in life, meaning nischala tattvam. The mind becomes steady. The mind will have the sthita prajna swabhava. Nischala tattva jivan mukti. So that nischala tattva will lead to the liberation of a jivan, liberation of us. That is the jivan mukti avastha. So this is the path of evolution, the path of, or the ladder towards transformation. So what is really needed? Good association. That is the real base of the self-development. When we say good association, the association that will enable us to realize the truth, meaning truth as the substratum of every endeavor in our life. Satya adhishtanatva. So, association with truthful people, association with the truth, association with the things that will lead towards the discovery of truth within us, the association with truthful people who will elevate us. When I say elevate us, elevate our thoughts, elevate our behaviors, elevate our karmas. Association with people and things that will give right guidance, right support in our life, right inspiration in life, to transcend from the lower plane to the higher plane. These all are the conducive environments that one need in life. Right association. Right association is all about creating the foundation in a person, the substratum. So for that, one should allow to create a conducive structure. Association with truthful people, association with things that will elevate us, association with people who can guide us in the right direction, support us, inspire us. So with that, what happens is we will create the habit of non-attachment. The non-attachment towards what? Non-attachment towards the outcomes and material possessions. Non-attached, it doesn't mean that you will run away from the material possessions or you will not expect anything in life. You are not attached to that. You are not attached to the outcomes. So it means what? There is stress-free life. Going back to Bhagavad-gita, karmanyevadhikaraste ma bhaleshu kadachana. You do the right actions. You do the you set the right ingredients for your action to become successful, rather than preoccupying about what will happen as a result. So what happens is basically when you are not attached to the outcomes, you will be able to stay in the present and execute the things. So that is the non-attachment here, non-attached to outcomes and material possession. Because without preoccupying about what will happen in life, what will happen as a result of the karma, you are now fully immersed in doing the karma. And again, the prasada buddhi, as I mentioned in the beginning, the bhakti is prevalent there. That is where the karma becomes karma yoga. So this non-attachment brings a clarity in our mind. And the non-attachment brings a clarity in the form of making our mind free from the illusions and the misconceptions. Because these illusions and the misconceptions are the binding elements in this world. That is where, one will chase these results and I should get it. So that is where one creates bandhagaratam. Bandhagaratam comes out of what? Bandhagaratam comes about or out of the outcome orientation and the possession over the outcomes, the material possessions. So now, with the clarity that is having in the mind, when we say clarity in the mind, the free from illusions and misconceptions, one will be able to go further, clarity to understand who am I, what is my true nature. So this mind now is pretty much free, is not having delusions. So the mind becomes steady, the mind becomes focused, and the mind will not easily get disturbed by the external circumstances. So once the mind is settled like this, what happens? Nischalatatve jivan mukti. One will be able to go above the lower planes and find the real meaning in life. One will be able to reach the state of liberation, the state which is characterized by the inner peace and the bliss. So this verse is very, very profound. Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan mukti. Here it starts with lot of important elements. When we say the first element, we can say as the jnana yoga, inquiry into the real nature of myself. Who am I? What is my true nature? Jana yoga, meaning what? The scriptural studies and the inquiry that one will have in life about knowing the true I. Who am I? What is my true nature? That is where the satsanga bhagyam helps. Sravanam, listening, having the association with the good things, good people. Then one has to do a meditation or a contemplation. That is where the dhyana comes into picture. Jnanam, jnana yogam, then the dhyana yoga. Dhyanam is all about making the mind still, making the mind to experience the inner silence, making the mind to go beyond the ego, making the mind to go beyond the objects, so called as the body, mind, intellect, senses. With the cooperation of the mind, now one has to do the internalization of this knowledge. Internalization meaning applying it to into the real life. What is the application here? The application is all about the oneness of Atman and Brahman. This is the manana dhyana. When I say dhyana, it is all about manana dhyana, both. First is jnanam. Jnanam is all about through sravana, through satsanga bhagya. Sravana, manana, dhyana. So what happens in dhyanam is, that is where the third element of self-enquiry comes. Atma vicharam comes into picture. Atma vicharam is all about negating the identities that we have created. Break the superficial identities or the assumed personalities that we created in life. That's where the neti comes into picture. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham. Nacha shrotra jihve, nacha krana netre, nacha vyoma bhumir, na tejo na vayu, chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. In the Nirvana Shatka, right? Acharya Swami says that when you start looking into yourself and do this neti, am I the mind, am I the buddhi, mano buddhi ahankara chitta ninaham, naja srotra jihve, naja krana netri. Am I the the karmendriya, amayadi, jnanendriya, amayadi, mind, one will be able to break these superficial identities. Then comes the sadhana. Sadhana is all about the constant application in life, because we cannot be always in the state of dhana, right? We have to work in this world. So here the sadhana is all about bringing moral and ethical life with the purity of the mind. Whatever you do, you are convinced and you are moral, you are ethical. You are convinced what is right, what is not right, what should I do, what should not I do, what should I prohibit to do in life. So sadhana is all about application, the consistent application of this knowledge. And one has to, continuously do the yama niyama, because mind, again, the nature of mind is always go out, tendency to go out. So one has to continuously practice the yama niyamam, that is practicing the ethical virtues, all needed virtues, truthfulness to non-violence to purity to having contentment in life. It's all about sharpening the saw, basically ensuring that the mind is clean, purified every now and then. Let me also take this opportunity to touch upon the Devasura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga, the chapter 16. You will be able to appreciate the 26 virtues Bhagavan says there in the beginning of the Devasura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattvasam Shuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti Dhanam Damascha Yajnascha Swadhyaya Tapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodham Tyagashandhira Vaishunam Daya Bhudeshu Loluptvam Mardavam Hira Chapalam Tejakshama Dhridi Shaucham Adroho Nadimanita Bhavanti Sambadam Devim Abhijadasya Bharata. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti Dhanam Damam Yajnam Swadhyayam Tapasa Arjava. Abhayam is all about fearlessness. Fearlessness will come when you know your true self. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi. Sattva Samshuddhi is all about you being ethical, your mind being, behaving in an ethical way. You are clean, you are pure. Abhaya Samshuddhi. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. Cultivate the spiritual knowledge. Jnanam, Jnana Yajnam, Jnana Yogam. Dhanam. Dhanam is all about doing things in life without expecting anything in return. It is not only the social service or for the benefit of getting the 80C or 80CCC or whatever. It is not that charity we are mentioning. Doing things, work as a worship where you don't expect anything in return. This is the dhanam here. Dhanam, then what? Dhanam, damam. Damam is all about the control, the kind of self-control that one should have. Dhanam, damam, yajnam. Yajnam is all about selfless service. The acts of devotion appearing in everything, in your behavior, in your dealings, in your day-to-day affairs, wherever you are working, whatever profession you are having. the kind of selfless service, the acts of devotion appearing in your karma. So that is where the karma becomes the karma yoga, karma yajna. Yajnam swadhyayam. Swadhyayam is all about Vedabhyasam, the scriptural studies, daily studies in the form of satsangam. Tapas. Tapas is all about austerity, the self-discipline, the kind of values that you are having and the core values that you want to adhere in life. Tapas and arjavam. Arjavam is all about the sincerity, the simplicity, the straightforwardness that you have in life. Not stopping there, Bhagavan says ahimsa, satyam, akrodham, akrodha, tyaga, shanti, apaishunam, daya, bhudeshu, aloluptvam, mardavam, hri, achavelam. Ahimsa is all about the non-violence. It is not only the non-violence in action, non-violence in thoughts, non-violence in words, non-violence in the deeds. Ahimsa, satyam. Satyam is all about truthfulness. Satya adhishtanatva, the adherence to truth in every aspect of your life. Akrodham. Akrodham is all about absence of anger. Don't allow the anger to take control. You should control the anger. Don't allow the anger to take control of you. Anger is all about what? Forgiveness. As well as the understanding that one creates in life. Understanding meaning what? Understanding about a failure, understanding about the behavior, understanding about the emotions of the others, as well as your own emotion. Akrodham, tyagam, tyagaha, renunciation. It's all about let go of the material attachments. Material attachment as well as the desires. So it is all about you have something to bother about rather than clinging to the material attachments and desires. What is that something which is higher? That is all about dedicate to see the higher potential in you, the higher spiritual self, the higher spiritual progress, the practice that is needed. So when one moves away from the lower planes of these objects, lower planes of the desires and the attachments, one will automatically evolve to the higher plane of the progress. This is the tyagam, this is the renunciation. Tyaga, shanti. Shanti is all about the tranquility, the inner peace, the calmness. And again the capability to avoid distractions from the external circumstances. This is shanti. Shanti, apaishunam. Apaishunam is basically not finding the faults in things and people. See the positive things. See the kind of a supportive attitude everywhere. You see, the good things even you are in a bad situation. Daya bhudeshu. Bhudeshu meaning towards all the beings. What we need? One needs compassion, the empathy, the kind of kindness. Aloluptum. Aloluptum is absence of greed, having the contentment in life. Aloluptum. Mardavam. Mardavam is basically the gentleness. Basically, treat others with respect. The kind of gentleness that is needed, the kindness that is needed. Mardavam, hri. Hri meaning modesty. Recognize the value or recognize the path of humility in everything that you do. Hri. Achabalam. Achabalam is all about absence of the, what is the right word, absence of fickleness, we can say. Basically, steadiness. And your mind can also be relied upon, because reliability in thoughts and actions are needed. That is where the integrity comes in a person. Like achavalam. And the last set of traits that Bhagavan says, tejas kshama, teja kshama dhridi shaujam adroho nati manida bhavanti sambadam devim abhijadasya bharata. Tejas is all about splendor, the inner radiance, the inner shining that you have in life. Kshama is forgiveness, harmony, the kind of attitude that you have in life towards bringing harmony in everything. Dhridi is perseverance. It's all about, in the modern world, we talk about resilience. Resilience quotient is also one of the important attributes in the modern leaders' behavior, right? Resilience is all about what? The capability to face the challenges in a cool-headed way. So here the perseverance is all about face the challenges in a simpler way. When I say in a simpler way, with the knowledge. Perseverance, then Shaujam is all about purity. Purity in the words, purity in your deeds, the clean characteristics, or the cleanliness of the mind. Shaujam, Adroham. Adroham is all about absence of hatredness, having a benevolent attitude in life. Then Nati Manida, absence of pride. See the modesty, grace of divinity, or the grace of divine everywhere, and act with humility and modesty. So these are the values that one should create. And the detachment, when I say detachment, the vairagi, cultivate this from the worldly desires and attachments. When I say cultivate, it's all about understand the transient nature of the material existence, because these things will come and go. One should have a focus on the eternal truth which is behind the transient nature of the materialistic things. As per Bhagavad Gita, the para prakriti behind the apara prakriti. One should be able to understand that and detach from the apara prakriti, the things which are having the apara prakriti swabhava, meaning always evolving, always changing, and see the truth behind. So have the renunciation from the transient nature of material existence, and also renunciation of the ego, renunciation of sense of doership, sense of the raga, dvesha, kartrutva, bhoktrutva, attachment, aversion, enjoyership, doership. You realize that all actions as the manifestations of Brahman, and all actions as the manifestations of that Supreme. Then it is easy to detach from the objects. And what one needs is all about the grace and guidance, the Kripa, Guru Kripa and the Ishvara Kripa, to show the right direction. And Guru has to be the Deshigan here. Guru has to show the right direction. Here our Guru is Bhagavan Bhashyakara, Jagat Guru, Adi Shankara Bhagavad Father. Guru Kripa, the Kripa of the Guru, and Ishvara Kripa, the Kripa of that Supreme, to realize the truth. So Satsanga Bhagyam, Satsanga Saubhagyam is very important. Satsangate Nisangatvam, Nisangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam, Nischalatatve Jivanmukti. Very, very, very profound verse of the Bhajagovindam. Let's go through the verse 10. vayasi gate ka kama vikara shushke neere ka kasara क्षीणे वित्ते का परिवारा ज्ञाते तत्त्वे का संसारा भज गोविंदम गोविंदम भज मूढ़मते वायसी गदे का काम विकार. So once you cross the youth, when youth has passed, where is the lust and its play coming? So it's all about talking the ephemeral nature of the physical desires and urges in our life, because when we cross a particular stage, so the desires and urges of that stage will not be relevant, because the pleasures that we anticipate or experience in life are also transient, because those pleasures will become a pain at some point of time. So now, where is the room for accommodating this lust and its play when the youth or the stage of youth has passed? When you cross one stage, the priorities and the relevance of the pleasures will become not important. That pleasures will become a pain. Similarly, shushke neere ka kasara. When the water has dried up in the pond or in the lake, so what is the significance of that lake? Can we call as a lake? Maybe a dry land. Shushke neere, when there is no water, how can we call that as a lake? Similarly, kshine vitte ka parivara. Similarly, but when the wealth is gone, where are the people around you? They will not come. Their affection and support will stop. So, meaning here is the physical body and its desires are impermanent. You seek the deeper truth within you. Jnate tattve ka samsara. So when the truth is realized, where is the room for the samsara to come? Where is the room for the illusory world to act within you? The illusion of the world dissolves in this samsaram, in the true reality. In the true reality, the illusion of the world will get dissolved. So you realize your true nature as the Brahman. You overcome the ignorance and you become clear of the impermanent things in life. With this knowledge, you live a balanced life and focus on the self-unfoldment, because now the self is folded. One has to unfold, one has to cross or transcend the clutters, transcend the different superficial layers that are created. So you pave the way for self-unfoldment and growth, and you come out of the samsaram, you come out of the worldly problems. Verse number 11. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam harati nimeshhaat kaalah sarvam maayaamayamidamakhilam buddhvaa brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditvaa Bhajagovindam Bhajagovindam Govindam bhajamudhamate. So realize the illusory nature of the world. Live with humility. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam. Don't do the new word is flexing. Don't boast about your wealth, about your friends, about your youth, about your capabilities. These all can lose anytime. Don't flex unwantedly. When you flex, you be clear that there is a truth which is allowing me to talk, allowing me to flex, allowing me to boast, allowing me to act, allowing me to show the skills which others are appreciating. Harati, nimeshhaat, kaalah, sarvam. The dimension of time will take away all these things, and that can happen in a moment also. Maayaamayamidamakhilam buddhvaa. So don't get entangled in the illusion of Maya. Leave this illusory world. Brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditvaa. So understand and attain the state of Brahman. The goal of life is to attain the self-realization and unity with Brahman. Brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditvaa. So don't give any extra importance or excessive importance in money, wealth, social status, etc. You just transact with it. Whatever is needed, you just transact it. Just leverage it, but don't place extra importance to all these things. So one has to contemplate in what? Contemplate in the impermanent nature of the material possessions that we all have, that we all deal with, that we all transact with. Be very clear, contemplate upon it, and realize the illusory nature of the world. Understand the apara prakriti and the reason for apara prakriti to exist as the para prakriti. Right? You appreciate apara prakriti, but don't depend upon apara prakriti. Don't depend upon the illusory nature of the world. You appreciate it, you clap. Don't worry. Just clap it. You appreciate it, but don't have a dependence on the apara prakriti. Depend upon the para prakriti, and you live with humility. Verse number 12. Dinayaminyau sayam pratah Shishiravasandav punarayatah Kaalah kridadi gacchatyayuh tadavinnamunjatyashavayuh Bhajagovindam Bhajagovindam Govindam bhajamudhamate. Dinayaminyau sayam prata. So the day and night. Shishiravasandav punarayatha. The seasonal changes like, day and night, and sayam prata, the dawn and dusk, the shishira vasanta, the different seasons, spring and winter, they all punarayatha, they all come and go again and again. Kaalah kridadi gachatyayu. And understand that the time, place and life goes in way. Tadavina munjatyasha vayu. So, but the problem of human mind is still we know these things are coming and going. The fire of desires never gets settled, doesn't quench in human beings. Human beings are always engrossed, they are preoccupied. The chain of desires always create this binding, and one cannot escape. So that is where we all say, I am busy, I am busy. See, when someone says busy in life, please understand that the chain of desires are binding them. I am very, very busy these days. They are engrossed, they are fully preoccupied. So, understand the impermanent nature of the material things. And again, you embrace changes in life because these all will come, go, these all are transient. Appreciate it. Don't run away. Appreciate the changes. But understand the impermanent nature of the material world, things that you deal. And you understand the permanent nature behind every impermanent things in this world. That's why the Purushartham, the Parama Purushartham, you all know this, Artham, Kamam, Dharmam, Moksha. Artham, Kamam, Dharmam, they all are the impermanent things. They all are embracing changes. Wealth, sense pleasures. Even Dharmam also. Dharmam also undergoes tailoring or modification or customization. But these all are stepping stones for the higher purpose in life that is called as the moksha. That is the only way to get freedom from the samsaram. That's what Bhajagovindam teaches us. That's why Bhajagovindam is also called as Mohamudgaram. That will break the desires. When we say breaking the desire, it's all about bringing clarity in us about what is permanent, what is impermanent. Stick to the permanent and transact the impermanent. Appreciate the impermanent, but never have dependence on the impermanent material world objects. Dependency should be on the permanent, and that is you, your true nature, the aham bodham, the self, susurubam, and that is the only way to get freedom from the samsara. That's what Bhagavan Bhashyagar Adisindra Bhagavad conveys to us through these verses. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.